How can you grow your business if you don't know where you are? Welcome to Number Compass, where we use numbers for direction and to reveal the next steps to growing your business. Hi, it's Candus, and today I want to talk about tax time. Because if tax time becomes a surprise for you, then that's probably because you have not been focusing throughout each month on making decisions along the way that all add up. So one of the things I see often from business owners is this idea that tax time has to be this huge inconvenience and big deal. And no, I do not like tax time either. But when we make strategic decisions all year long, every single month, you'll find that tax time can be even easier. So let me share a story with you. And it is the whole reason, if you don't know, that I started teaching QuickBooks originally on YouTube, that is. So I went to see my hairdresser. She was going through a divorce. She was trying to make decisions. She was struggling to get enough clients because she had a home studio, a studio outside of her home. She lived in the country. And she asked me, she goes, I'm really thinking about getting a location in town. And I said to her, okay, well, how many cuts and colors and the different products and services that she had would you need to add for it to make sense to cover the rent and for it to be no brainer, right? So whenever we're trying to make a decision as a business owner, we always have to say, what are the things I need to know? What are the things I need to gather? What is the data I need to make a decision, right? There's always like gut instinct, but there's also hard facts that we need to know. And she looked at me and she's like, I have no idea. And I said to her, well, how do you prepare for your taxes? And she said, the magical word. Well, it's a magical word, as I say when you say it to me. She said, QuickBooks. And I'm like, well, if you do QuickBooks, how do you not know how much money you're making? How do you not know this stuff? And she's like, well, I just back up my QuickBooks. She was a desktop user at the time. I send it to my tax professional and I get my taxes back. I'm like, okay, well, have you ever pulled a profit and loss? She's like, no. I'm like, oh, okay. That was a foreign thought to me because I teach QuickBooks and this is like just something I always know, but it inspired me. It said, this is exactly why I'm going to start teaching classes. This is why I'm going to start doing videos on YouTube because I don't want any business owner not to know how to pull the reports. But the one big thing that I took away from that is the fact is she had just been entering the data, probably catching up. She had been using QuickBooks, I think at that time for 5 or 6 years, but never actually used it for tax planning. And that is the mistake I don't want you to make, not anymore after being on this episode. Because here at Number Compass, we're all like, use the numbers to make decisions, right? This thing I'm always teaching you. And so when you're consistently reconciling, we talked about that in one of the episodes, looking at your reports, customizing your reports, you can use the data to help you make decisions because you don't want to wait until tax time to do tax planning. You want to be making those decisions throughout the year. What can we be investing in? What decisions? Should we be buying equipment? Do we need to cut down on expenses? Do we need to increase marketing? Like, what do we need to be doing? And those decisions can all be made from your profit and loss when you're looking at it on a consistent basis because you're pulling levers all of the time. I'll give you another example, another story of how I did this myself because you might be thinking, okay, I get that she wasn't doing anything, we need to do it. But how can I use my reports to make decisions? So one of the things that I've personally done in my business is that I have videos on YouTube and we have revenue that we generate from that. We have ads on them and it allows us to create an additional stream of revenue for the company. And so I hired a consultant and he looked at our profit and loss and it was really cool to have somebody else look at it through their eyes. But because I had went in and customized my chart of accounts, which I've talked about in the series before, if you missed that, go back and check out that episode. But I went in and I had YouTube as a separate revenue stream in the business. I had it as a separate chart of accounts. I had my private sessions when I was still doing those as a separate account. Our Confidence with QuickBooks program, where we focus on how to customize QuickBooks, how to properly enter a transaction, and our QuickBooks Simplified community, where we help people clean up mistakes, and some of our other little programs. And we were looking at them and he said to me, he goes, you're spending a lot of time on your one-on-one clients, but you're actually generating just as much revenue from your YouTube channel. If you pivoted and you focused more on helping people on YouTube, creating more tips, tricks, and resources, I actually think you would scale your business more. And I sat back and I was like, yeah, I'm so close to this. I didn't see that because I knew that if I could help more people with their QuickBooks, because in our Commons QuickBooks program, people can still come on and ask me questions and I can actually look at their QuickBooks and they have step-by-step guidance on how to do it. And in my QuickBooks Simplified community, I help people clean up their mistakes every month. I get on live calls and I knew that I could actually help more people if they had skills and knowledge with support than I ever could do one-on-one. Even though I love one-on-ones, they basically get that in my programs. It's in a group setting, but I still can help them, and everybody else gets to learn from it too, and people love it. So I realized, and that is when I made the pivot. I stopped doing one-on-ones. I focused more on supporting my students and creating more free training for you guys so that you could get more from me. But it was all because I had a report that told me exactly where my revenue was coming in so I could make those decisions. And that is where, if throughout the year you have reports and you're making tax planning where you're meeting with your tax professional, looking at it, but you're also making business decisions, you're looking at your QuickBooks through a lens of where can I make pivots? Where can I make changes? Understanding that tax time doesn't have to be stressful. One, if you're entering the data. Two, if you're pulling your reports. If you're reconciling, which we've talked about before, but you're going in and actually looking at it and using it as a resource, that you've set up your different products and services to track what revenue is coming in, you can make these pivots. So with small monthly adjustments, reconciling, using bank feeds to speed up your data entry, cruise control as I called it in our prior episode, you can start saving time, but start looking at your business for what are the decisions we need to be making so that tax time is even easier. Are we prepaying our sales tax? Are we doing our payroll taxes? Are we gathering our data? So here's a quick tip for you. If you don't know this, throughout the year, as you buy equipment or you invest in different things, you want to have a separate folder that you put that stuff into so that when you get to your tax appointment, you can gather it all easily versus feeling like your hair's on fire and you're running around trying to do that. That is a stressful experience and you have choice. Do you still want to keep experiencing that, or do you want to use QuickBooks as a system to be able to enter your data and be able to easily pull a report, a profit and loss, a balance sheet, go to your tax professional and say, here's exactly what's happening. These are the extra little things I know you need to know, but here's everything. That's what it's like for me and my students when they go to their tax appointment. They actually get compliments because their books are so clean. And whenever your books are clean, you save money because your tax professional isn't having to try to dig through everything to get what they need. And if you're thinking, okay, Candus, I need some additional support, I need some additional resources, feel free to email us. support@CandusCampfer.com. We'll point you in the right direction. And if you're thinking, I really need to learn how to enter my transactions, I need to understand my reports better, as I've mentioned in the prior episodes, feel free to join us on our Customizing QuickBooks workshop. You can go to CandusCampfer.com/class to save your seat. And really, that's the first step. And it doesn't matter if you're brand new and you're like, I'm just thinking about using QuickBooks, or you've been using it for years. The things we've been covering in this series and the things I cover on that training is where you want to start. Because I don't want you to be wasting time on features you don't need to be using. And I want you to actually start using QuickBooks as the tool you believed it could be when you first started. You just need some direction and guidance to get there. So thank you for hanging out with me with Number Compass. I hope that you've started implementing the things I've been teaching you through here. And if you need any additional support, please reach out. And that is the wrap of this series. I might come back and do some bonus training. There's something I didn't cover that you want to know, or you think you like included, something you want to know more about, please email us, support@CandusCampfer, or come find me on Instagram or Facebook. I'll put all of the links down below. DM me. Let me know any ahas that you're listening to these episodes, that they've made a difference for you. And thank you. Thank you for being part of my community. Thank you for allowing me to do the thing that brings me joy. You know, in the episode where I was talking about the foot on the gas and brake, I do this because it lights me up to help someone else. And yes, it ended up being with QuickBooks, but hopefully it's impacted more than that, because QuickBooks isn't just about tax time. It's just not just about numbers. I know that it could be keeping you up at night, could be causing you to not be able to sleep. And those are the things that inspire me to create trainings, that inspire me to do my live classes, that inspire me to create tips and tricks, whether it's on YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook, to tell you that you can do this. And that if you've believed that it's not possible for you to do your bookkeeping, or you've given up on it, but there's a part of you that's getting reinvigorated, you can do this. Even if you don't think you're good at numbers, even if somebody's been mean to you before, or you've tried other training, it is possible. And I would love to be the person to support you along the way. So thank you so much for trusting me. Thank you for being here. And I look forward to seeing you either on a live call or in my DMs. Have an amazing day. Until next time, toodaloo.